So this building right here is a prison in Caldwell, New Jersey. And the thing about this one was that there are a lot of people that will view these pictures and you know, when I talk about the horrible conditions that were in here, because I can't even tell you. I mean, again, like that's in the first book. Take a look at that. The conditions that were recorded in there were so bad that if you were to think of what hell would be like, it probably would be better than this. It was so overcrowded. They didn't have trained staff. They didn't have medications for people. There were bugs. There was no space for anyone. There was disgusting water pouring from the ceilings that, you know, caused sores in people because it was so filthy. Pieces of the building were falling apart onto people. I could go on and on and on about this, and there are a lot of people out there that'll be like, well, if you can't do the crime, don't do the time. But the thing about this is that a number of the people that were in here hadn't even been convicted. They just couldn't pay their bond. So this prison, and again, I had a bit of a longer thing where I talked about it last time, but you know, I am not very superstitious. People always ask me about ghosts. No, I haven't seen ghosts. I'll just throw that right out there. I have an active imagination. I think a number of the places are pretty spooky. I can picture all sorts of creepy monsters in them while I'm there by myself taking pictures, but I've never seen any, thank the Lord. This place, the reason that stands out is that in this prison, it was on an active campus for another prison. This used to be where the criminally insane were, and then they moved them to a newer facility. So the guy who was taking me around this was one of the people who worked at the other one, and he was really creeped out by this place. He was really like, you know, there are ghosts in this place. Here's some stories that people have told me about the ghosts that haunt this place. And at a certain point, it was kind of like, well, you know, I don't mean to be disrespectful or anything, but you work with criminally insane people. That's a scary day to me, you know? Like, I'll take the haunted building over the building that is full of actual criminally insane people. This building, also one of the creepier ones. I think prisons are really about the creepiest of the buildings. The thing that was really eerie about this one was there were a lot of people that were living in it still. A lot of people. And so, whereas with many buildings you have kind of heightened senses and you know, you're like, oh, what's that? A branch against the window or a pigeon flutters and it makes you hop. In this place, you'd be like, what's that over there? Oh, it's a dude just watching me across the way. And then he'd kind of meld off in the shadows, and 5 or 10 minutes later, you'd see somebody else on one of the other levels watching you that was a different person, constantly, all throughout the time I was there. I do not exaggerate. That was a really, really eerie place to be. This prison, the thing that I had sort of put in here that I thought was interesting about that one was there's a whole bunch of just scrawls all over the walls in the solitary cells in this. I actually had one that was a whole huge wall of just insane ramblings, but there were also a lot of large, prominent curse words on it. So I figured because C-SPAN is here with us tonight, I would spare you all. But the thing that really did, that I think was the eeriest of all of them, I can share with you is this. This was on an active campus too. Nobody else came into this building except for the people that were a part of the prison system. This is in the solitary cells. I have to imagine they did not like give them finger paints or anything, you know? I don't know what they wrote. That almost makes it a little eerier, you know, not knowing what it is and just seeing a little bit of bloody scrawl left on the wall.